Lady from the depths. In the depths of the vast ocean, where light dared not venture, lived a mermaid named Serena. From the waist up, Serena retains a strikingly human appearance. Her delicate features are framed by cascades of long, flowing hair, which shimmers in shades of oceanic hues, pearlescent blues, greens, and purples. Serena's tail, in all its magnificence, possesses a graceful and fluid form, enabling her to navigate the depths of the ocean with unparalleled ease and elegance. It flickers and sways with a hypnotic rhythm, reflecting the undulating currents and waves that surround her. Unlike her fellow merfolk, who reveled in their enchanting and oceanic freedom, Serena longed for something more. She yearned for legs that would allow her to walk on land and explore the world beyond the watery realm. The desire burned within her, consuming her every waking thought. A story whispered through the currents of a powerful sea octopus witch who possessed the ability to grant such wishes. Her name was Morgana, an ancient and mysterious creature, feared and respected by all who knew of her existence. From a very young age, Morgana delved deeper into magical studies until her hunger for power consumed her. She became obsessed with acquiring even greater control over the sea and its creatures. In her pursuit of dominance, she made a dangerous pact with a dark and mysterious entity known as the Abyssal Whisperer. The Abyssal Whisperer granted Morgana enhanced abilities, but at a terrible cost. It corrupted her, tainting her once pure intentions with darkness and an insatiable desire for control. With each passing day, Morgana's appearance began to change, morphing into a hybrid of octopus and witch, a formidable and fearsome entity known as the Octopus Witch. Morgana. It was said that her lair lay hidden deep within a treacherous maze of coral reefs, guarded by menacing sea creatures. Driven by her insatiable yearning, Serena embarked on a perilous journey to find Morgana's lair. She swam through treacherous currents, braved the razor-sharp teeth of vicious sharks, and endured the chilling embrace of the abyssal cold. The mermaid's determination knew no bounds as she pressed forward, her heart filled with a mix of trepidation and hope. After days of relentless searching, Serena finally found herself standing before the entrance to Morgana's lair. The cavern loomed before her, its jagged walls shimmering with an eerie phosphorescent glow. The mermaid hesitated for a moment, contemplating the potential consequences of her actions. But her longing burned too brightly, and she knew she had come too far to turn back now. Taking a deep breath, Serena ventured into the gloomy depths of the cavern. The air grew heavy, and an overwhelming sense of foreboding settled upon her. Strange, otherworldly creatures lurked in the shadows, their glowing eyes watching her every move. The sound of her heartbeat echoed through the eerie silence, urging her onward. Finally, Serena came face to face with Morgana, a magnificent and terrifying sight to behold. The sea octopus, witch's tentacles, writhed with an otherworldly grace, her eyes gleaming with a mixture of wisdom and malevolence. Serena trembled, overwhelmed by the sheer power emanating from this mystical being. Morgana, Serena's voice quivered. I seek to walk upon the land, to experience the world beyond the ocean's embrace. Please, grant me legs so that I may fulfill this burning desire within me. Morgana's voice resonated through the cavern, sending chills down Serena's spine. I can grant your wish, young mermaid, but at a steep price. For legs, you must offer me your hair, a sacrifice of your most precious possession. Serena hesitated, her heart racing as she considered Morgana's proposition. The desire to walk on land and experience life as a human burned within her. But she knew that every bargain with a witch came with consequences. She looked down at her shimmering tail, a symbol of her identity and connection to the sea. Serena knew that sacrificing her beautiful hair would sever a part of her mermaid essence forever. Yet, the allure of the human world tugged at her, whispering promises of adventure. Swallowing her fear, Serena nodded in acceptance. Morgana's eyes glinted with a mix of amusement and satisfaction. Extending her tentacle, she gracefully weaved it through Serena's long, flowing locks. As the witch began her incantations, a surge of magic coursed through Serena's body. Pain seared through her very soul as her beautiful hair was ripped away, replaced by Morgana's scaly skin. Morgana, now adorned with breathtaking hair, swirled around the mermaid in a hypnotic dance. As she moved, her voice resonated with an otherworldly power, uttering words that were unfamiliar and mystical, their meaning lost to ordinary comprehension. Finally, the last strand was taken, and Serena's transformation began. She felt a surge of power and energy envelop her as her tail split apart, fusing into a pair of delicate human legs. The pain was both excruciating and exhilarating, as if her entire being was being remolded. She collapsed to the ground, gasping for breath. Weak and sobbing, she had achieved her deepest desire, but at a great cost. Morgana observed Serena's struggle with a sinister satisfaction. "You have your legs, mermaid, but remember that nothing comes without a price. Now, be gone from my lair and never return." With a flick of her tentacles, Morgana vanished into the darkness, leaving Serena alone in the echoing emptiness of the cavern. The mermaid slowly rose to her feet, her newfound legs shaky and foreign. As she stumbled towards the exit, waves of regret washed over her. The weight of her choices settled heavily upon her, a constant reminder of the sacrifices made. Emerging from the darkness into the open ocean, Serena stared up at the surface, now tantalizingly close. As Serena stepped onto the unfamiliar terrain of the land, her legs trembling with each uncertain step, she quickly realized that the world above was far more treacherous and unforgiving than she had ever imagined. The ground was hard and unforgiving beneath her feet, and the absence of water made her feel vulnerable and exposed. Desperate to find a place where she could hide, Serena sought refuge in a small coastal town. There, she discovered an abandoned seaside cottage, weathered by time and forgotten by its previous inhabitants. It became her sanctuary, a place where she could retreat from the prying eyes of the world. Serena's transformation came with unforeseen consequences that left her in both physical and emotional pain. Every step she took on her newly formed limbs was a reminder of the sacrifice she had made, and the pain she endured became a constant companion. The loss of her mermaid's hair, the severed connection to her underwater home, and the relinquishment of her beautiful tail weighed heavily on her heart. She felt a deep longing for the sea, for the freedom and tranquility it offered, and the absence of her aquatic family and friends left a void within her. Serena's encounters with human beings were fraught with disappointment and heartbreak. Some saw her as an object of fascination, exploiting her uniqueness for personal gain. Others couldn't comprehend her emotional struggles and the weight of her transformation, leaving her feeling isolated and misunderstood. The genuine connection she yearned for remained elusive, leaving her to navigate the complexities of the human world with a sense of profound loneliness. Each rejection further deepened Serena's pain and reinforced her longing for her lost mermaid life. She yearned for the understanding and unconditional acceptance she had experienced among her sea kin. The trauma of her transformation cast a shadow over her interactions with humans, making it increasingly difficult for her to trust and open herself up to the possibility of finding true companionship. As months passed, Serena's pain and longing deepened, and an ancient and dormant power within her began to awaken, triggering a profound transformation. The anguish she carried within her soul resonated with the ancient magic of the ocean, stirring a metamorphosis that would forever change her. It began with the unsettling sensation on the top of her head, the pulsating energy that seemed to have a life of its own. But instead of a subtle change, Serena's transformation took a gruesome and grotesque form. The sensation intensified, causing her immense discomfort. The once lustrous locks that adorned her head twisted and writhed like a mass of repulsive worms, as if something sinister was taking hold of her. A wave of horror washed over Serena as she felt her skin splitting open, giving way to slimy green tentacles that burst forth from beneath. The tentacles slithered and wriggled, tearing through her flesh, leaving behind a grotesque sight of raw, exposed wounds. The pain was unbearable, but Serena's mind was consumed by a newfound hunger and a thirst for vengeance. The once smooth and human-like flesh of her legs began to take on a translucent quality, as if a layer of ethereal scales was emerging beneath the surface. Serena's legs elongated, stretching into sinuous appendages resembling those of a fish or a sea creature. The transformation was both fascinating and unsettling, as her lower body transformed into a hybrid form that retained the essence of her siren nature. As her physical appearance transformed into that of a monstrous siren, her mind became clouded with a dark and twisted desire. No longer driven by a longing for acceptance and companionship, Serena now sought to use her powers to lure unsuspecting souls into the depths, ensnaring them with her captivating voice and haunting beauty. Her once melodious voice took on a haunting quality, a siren's call that echoed through the waves, drawing sailors and wanderers toward their doom. With each seductive note, she compelled them to abandon reason and follow her into the treacherous depths of the ocean. Serena reveled in her newfound power, the intoxicating feeling of control over those who fell under her spell. She became a predator of the sea, a creature feared by all who sailed its waters. With her slimy tentacles and bewitching voice, she struck terror into the hearts of sailors, driving them to their demise without remorse. Gone was the longing for love and acceptance, replaced by a twisted hunger for revenge and dominance. Serena's once kind heart was consumed by darkness. The pain of her past and the bitterness of her transformation fueling her ruthless actions. With each hunt, Serena ventured to the surface, her haunting voice echoing through the ocean currents, drawing in unsuspecting sailors and wanderers. Her enchanting melodies carried a captivating allure, compelling those who heard them to abandon reason and follow her call. The hunts were marked by a cruel dance of seduction and destruction. She would appear amidst the waves, her ethereal beauty both mesmerizing and terrifying to behold. As sailors drew nearer, unable to resist the irresistible pull of her enchanting voice, they would find themselves ensnared within her clutches. Using her tentacles, Serena would ensnare her prey, wrapping them tightly in her slimy grip. Her touch was cold and suffocating, a chilling reminder of the treacherous depths that awaited them. With her victims helpless and at her mercy, Serena would revel in their fear and vulnerability, savoring the power she held over their lives. As her prey struggled in vain, Serena would unleash her fangs, sharp and gleaming, sinking them into the flesh of her captives. Her voracious appetite knew no bounds as she consumed their life force, draining them of their vitality until nothing remained but lifeless husks. Each hunt served to satiate Serena's hunger, but it also deepened the darkness within her. The thrill of the hunt, the taste of power, and the knowledge that she held the lives of others in her grip fed her insatiable desire for dominance. With every victim claimed, Serena's reign as a fearsome predator of the seas grew more notorious. However, as Serena continued her merciless hunts, a small part of her remained haunted by the remnants of her former self. A glimmer of remorse flickered within her, a distant echo of the compassion and longing she once held as a mermaid. Yet, the darkness that consumed her overshadowed any flicker of light, driving her to seek more victims to sustain her insatiable appetite. It was in these hunts that Serena's true nature was revealed, a tragic figure twisted by her desires, forever bound to the relentless cycle of seduction and destruction. And as she relentlessly pursued her prey, the echoes of her haunting melodies carried far and wide, serving as a chilling warning to those who dared to venture into the vast and unforgiving depths of the ocean. As a vicious siren, she roamed the depths of the ocean, a formidable force to be reckoned with. Sailors spoke of her in hushed whispers, warning of the treacherous beauty that awaited them. Serena had become a living nightmare, embodying the very essence of vengeance.